The year was 1993.
Break it down.
The Tories were in power under John Major. The country was still reeling off the back of Margaret Thatcher closing down all the mines in the north.
All right, so today on the crew, we're joined by the myth, the legend, and the number one reason why your lighters keep disappearing. He's 80% Terps, 20% government watch list, and somehow the chillest dude to ever hotbox a kayak. Flamm, what's up?
Oh, I like that.
How do you hotbox a kayak?
Well, good question. First of all, you got to get yourself a kayak.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Jesus.
You flip it over, and then you go in the air bubble under it.
Jesus Christ.
Same way that turtles do it.
Yeah, just in the shell.
Totally.
That's awesome, man. Well, Flamm, how the fuck you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm grand, boys. I am absolutely grand. Thanks for having me. Mixing up my Saturdays, but it's all good. Wifey took on the farmer's market, and she's down there complaining about people selling non-farmer's market goods that are craft. She's like, why am I not selling my pottery then? I'm like, fuck it, sell your pottery then.
Hell yeah. Yeah, appreciate you shifting things around to join us. And what have you been up? I mean, you've been doing those farmer market for a while now. That keeping you busy, huh?
That's this is our fourth year doing farmers markets. We've cut back a little bit, but then at the same time now taking on other one-off events coming up. It's really good. We do it mostly because it's kind of like yes, it does part of our business, right? Sure. But it's still something that's like community based and all the rest. We've made lots of good friends from it, lots of great opportunities. Our daughter gets to go and like just run about daft on the village green all morning, which is kind of, run about daft, and we tell her not to. Don't run in between the tables. Don't run in between the stalls. Don't do this. Don't do that. But it's really fun, and the food's banging. Like we do a lot of our kind of shopping for the week on the Saturday. And like for example, the toast I was eating this morning, that's like sourdough, and there's lots of good vendors, and we sling our packs of microgreens there. And when we have other stuff, we'll sell it. But yeah, it's really decent. We're pulled away from another one where people have been asking us to be at. But we do gardening as well, my wife and I, for clients, and we'd rather just do that. And you have to figure that, like, all right, it's 6 hours total for pack up, breakdown, the event, all the rest of it. And how much are we actually selling? Is that worth us doing? I romanticize things. So I'm like, oh yeah, but it's for the community and we can accept food stamps at this one. But it's like, yeah, but I can make that much money with my wife gardening in an hour. So it's kind of like we need to be smart about this.
What
exactly. Asking favors for like our daughter to get watched and that, because this one is just too big. She can run about. Like, so it's things like that. Just find the balance. But no, it's good, man. And it's an early morning, but I used to have them every single day. And so now I'm just grateful. Like when I wake up some mornings, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the market. I'm like, it's one day a week. You have to get up early. Get the fuck up and get going.
Yeah.
So it's good, man.
It has been so long since I've been to a farmer's market, man. I gotta find some local ones around here and see what people are doing.
Because you never know what could come of it. You know, I've had like really cool pepper seeds gifted to me by people and other more like business things as well. But it's just kind of interesting, and the amount of folk that come up, and you know, I can, as you said, government watch list, right? So I have a bit of a mouth. And I've been trying to keep my mouth shut a bit recently because it's not feeling safe to say what you want to say. And the amount of people I'll say, I don't want to talk politics on a Saturday morning, and they'll start doing it. And I'm like, all right, then let's break it down. Let's hear an insider's perspective of why your family's not speaking to you. That was last weekend. Like,
to your point, I mean, it's definitely I see, and I get envious of people that are able to get within their local community and be able to meet those people. And I know that's one you're really big with. I see people popping up all across, all in YAG, right? You're bringing all the folks over to YAG, and it's always, we met Flamm out in the wild and this and that. So I always love that about you is,
thanks,
you know, you're always so personable, and it's one of those things to be able to get out there and connect to the community. And, you know, it is what it is, right? I mean, you do have to look at it as, you know, what's bringing in the money, but I think that's really awesome to be able to bring those folks into our fold, right?
Exactly. And like the events that like I meet a lot of the Jaggers at, right? Like there's not really any pressure for me to like sell particularly, because like Autopot have told me how they want me to do things and all the rest. They're cool for me to have the Alba Automatics stuff, but my focus is still like on Autopot, even though we come to agreement on how we're paying for the booth. It's still like, well, no one would be stopping. Not as many people would stop by my booth, just me slinging seeds, right? Sure. So it's nice to have that kind of draw and then just give like honest feedback on it. Like I say, I wouldn't be promoting them if I thought they were shite or whatever. And if I stopped getting paid to do all the rest, I would still be using it, you know, and still telling folk it's good stuff. But yeah, it's a good way to start getting going. And then I am selective about who I say to though. I'm not like just any Tom, Dick, or Harry, but the amount of for guys who are so like each individual person within YAG, within the nerd group, very, very unique, right? Even though we're all very, very similar, and we're all found each other and all that kind of thing. Yep. And so yeah, when I do meet other guys in the wild who are like big old bushy beard, all the rest of it. Oh yeah, I grow plants. Oh, and I also do this craft thing. Like, oh, man, you are gonna fucking love this group of fellas that I know this.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's you know, I had always said, you know, I was never a big online person, but the people that I've met and the communities that I've become a part of and the friends, you guys that I'm sitting here with on my Saturday morning, I never would have met, never would have had that chance. Yeah. And it's just really awesome. You know, it's a lot of fun to be able to have this little spot on our corner of the internet to all link up and communicate and, you know, share the things that we got going on in our life.
Yeah. One of my favorite things I found was at place we were there for our microgreens, right? It was a really cool event. It was unfortunately very poorly attended, but it was like so well merchandised. It was at the fairground. There was a theme. There was like huge, big, like corners for taking pictures and everything. It was properly well done. And because it was quiet, it was allowed us to have a wander about. And so I wandered into the main hall where it was like packed. Like I had all different kinds of vendors. I've got a Night Owl badge that I put on my own hat. Yeah, and I was rocking that. That's my hat I wear probably most. And I saw somebody blowing glass. I was like, shit, fuck yeah, I want to go see these glass blowers. Because you don't always know if they're going to be blowing pipes. But as soon as I saw this fella, I was like, oh yeah. And he says, oh, dude, Night Owl, tight. Yeah, I rock with that. I rock with dads, all this kind of thing. I was like, oh, shit. So we start chatting. And that's Ezekiel, who's been on Dragon, like blew this pipe like on a live stream and things. Which I almost broke yesterday.
Oh no.
Yeah. Always check camp chair pivot tables are firmly attached before using them.
Oh yeah, dude, I would have been heartbroken.
Mate, that would have been several pipes I've broken the past few years, and this one's like a custom.
That's why I stay away from glass, man. Glass, I try not to fuck with it because that's what happens.
It fell on concrete, and I'm gobsmacked it didn't break. Like shout out to him. I'm incredibly impressed it did not break. But yeah, that was from like a civilian event, and you just wear a wee tinge of like here's a wee subtle nod, you know. And
people who know will know.
And he's one of the soundest people I've met in years. And congratulations to him and his now fiance.
Congratulations!
They announced it the other day, so that's him and Jess, and they're just great people. Like she's gifted my daughter little glass turtles, for example, and let my daughter watch her work. They're just great, and so it's all that. Like I have to thank so much of like my new friend group because I moved from Utah, barely knew anyone out here. And it's all through the plants. And it's nice people. There's only been a couple folk where things haven't worked out right. But yeah, man, it's really special. It's really fucking cool. And this week, like I gifted like 3 people plants just because, hey, do you know anywhere I could get a cut or a plant? Yes, if you could come by before Thursday, I'm culling some, so come get it. But yeah, it's really neat, man. I love it. I genuinely do love it. And I love bringing people together and seeing the reactions when people meet and being the host and things, because it's not as easy for us to get out and about. But yeah, I'm actually considering hitting up a few of the boys this week because we have to make a run for some clay. So it's like, I might as well see what the Columbus lads are up to and get together.
Heck yeah. And speaking of the community growing and things changing, you're now, I guess, what would be considered an official member of YAG.
Official,
right?
It's official.
It's official.
We did it.
and I've been getting it started as like, yeah, just do it your own time, get this done, we're casual. And then Johnny boy, he's getting this right here. If I give an impression that I'm not available, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking busy in a dug with two dicks. Like, like this is happening because I've had it on the schedule for so long, right? But like, I need to just say to my wife, like, I need help organising because I've been working every night as well. Trying to we had some real issues with the microgreens, and part of it was a seed issue, which we got worked out. And then the other thing was like, I'm missing things here. I'm not as dedicated to it. And I just went back into full, like, all right, fucking focus on this. Like, no messing about. And it's like gone back to like, oh, we're bumper harvest, full racks. But it's like, yeah, I know I need to get this going. I'm excited for it too. And the first one I'll do with Johnny. But then I listen every week. I'm like, fuck me, he's talking about everything I want to talk about.
Stop talking. Wait.
Stop talking about it. But I do have some other ideas of folk that like within the community that are doing it. And then some people out with that are not even particularly like cannabis people, like at all. But cool. I feel like now with everyone within our communities is so dedicated to talking about peppers, pumpkins, plants in general, herbs, medicinals. Right. That it's like I don't want to pigeonhole us into just, you don't have to have that cannabis asterisk on your grower resume. Yeah. Like there's other folk, and especially my one mate Dan out in he's out in Connecticut. I've mentioned to you before at Kiwi Roots. Just awesome dude and funny and super knowledgeable. And I know he's like he moved as well, right? He was out. Well, he moved out a couple of years before us in Utah, and so I'm like, I know he doesn't have as big a friend group either. So I'm like, mate, here's some good cunts for you, boy.
Yeah, you'll have to link me up with his contact, and definitely have to go check him out.
Yeah, if you reached out and said I sent you, he would fucking piss himself. Like, yeah, man, let's get together. Yeah. Like the time. Yeah, he's brilliant. We met at a golf course working. We worked at the resorts, not same department or anything. He was a snowmaker. But he's just really fucking funny, and he completely takes the piss out of me. That's what I'm excited for too. Like, I'll probably have to bleep him out using my government name, right? But he'll completely take the piss out of me the whole episode, probably.
So I just want to take a moment to it's a serious topic, but I really need to pick on Paranoid for wearing the shirt of the podcast he's on.
Yeah, that's what I do.
No, it's actually really good because yesterday was the first day of summer, and we have a summer collection of shirts.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Looks so wonderful on you there.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
It's been absolutely awesome seeing everybody in the community to show the support and pick up the gear and rock it.
It's a nice feeling in it. It's because again, it's art. It's what we're all creates fine art. To quote Kneecap. And you like yesterday, fix. I got a text off of what's his online ID? Bullseye.
McDonald's. And
it was a picture of him like down like this, and he just said taps on, as in I've always said taps off, taps on if it's hot or cold. And it was him with the black. I hadn't seen the black one with the coup seed online or seen anybody wear it yet. And it was just out of nowhere, and it's funny that he was saying taps on, because my mum that same day had sent me a taps off text because the weather is unseasonably warm in Scotland right now. Oh, so it's only like the 70s, and they're all like, "Oh my god, I fucking can't handle it." But it's just dope. Or when you see like somebody gets out of nowhere, like, "Oh yeah, here's your plant," and like the plant is at like my autoflowers like week 7 or something, so it's just fucking huge. And I mean, I've not heard from them since they bought the seeds, and all of a sudden they got this massive thing. I'm like, yes, mate, that's brilliant. Yep. So cool you popped them, It's really dope. But is him wearing that t-shirt, is that similar to like wearing a band t-shirt to the concert?
That was the joke I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I caught it.
To circle back to another joke, does anybody know what I did with my lighter? Because I definitely brought like two up here, and I can't find fucking either.
I stole it.
Yeah, I knew it.
Dude, I was struggling. As soon as we pressed record, I was like, oh shit, no lighter.
And I've got so much shit up with you. I want to be comfortable. Get everything done. Last time Stone Ninja was out this way, he was taking the piss at me because I didn't have a lighter on me. And I was like, I definitely fucking had one. And then like 2 days later, when I was going through his pants, I found like a stash pocket I didn't know about. And I was like,
wait, you were going through his pants?
Oh.
Hold up. Let's pump
Look,
it back.
I know this guy is
What's
fucking later.
My trousers. He wasn't wearing any.
Fair
Right.
enough.
I spent 5 minutes this morning looking for my car keys that I was holding.
Oh,
So that was good.
Dude, it's the worst. I'll
worst.
be talking to somebody on the phone, right? And you're like, I can't fucking find my phone, dude. I don't know where. Terrible.
I'm leaving to go get a lighter. I keep going.
All right.
Is this our first walk off in the crew history?
Oh,
Fuck you
yes.
guys.
All right. Go ahead and get this out of the way.
All I said was that he was on a government watch list. And all of a sudden he's getting all skittish.
No, I was gonna say, I got all these lighters and I can't smoke, so
It's like a pile of them.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I got like 4 lighters sitting right over here.
The camera spins around and it's just like a whole convenience store Bic stand. Like, look how tragic this is.
Actually found the lighter that I had to buy off a homeless guy when I was with Ninja that day. Because it was like, a fucking liar.
Yes. What was the markup on that?
I don't know, but it was only $1.
It was a 5-minute story that he had to listen to before he could fucking purchase it.
Oh no, that was me telling the story.
I believe it.
Fucking 30-second story goes into a 5-minute fucking yarn.
I don't know where it is, but I bought a pretty cool lighter recently. It's the one where like it looks like a Zippo, but it's electric. It has like a pixelated 8-bit bacon and eggs on it.
Oh, good Lord. That's awesome.
Love 8-bit art.
The thing that I always find is like I would use it until it's dead, and then I'd forget to charge it, and then it's like, well, I guess that's done.
I bought another cool one of the same style as the bacon and eggs one, but it was like graffiti of like a rapper holding a boombox up, and I actually mailed it to Dino. That was in his care package.
Oh yeah.
I bought the Clipper lighter recently. I like those Clipper lighters because they're refillable.
Exactly what I'm using.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that there's a little poker that comes out of it?
Yeah, I just found that out recently.
Yeah.
That's fucking high quality.
Poker, just matter.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Before we get back into the show, I got to read an ad. Deep beneath the haunted wetlands of upstate somewhere, a strain is whispered into existence by frogs that only speak Latin. This is Moss Boss, the only cannabis company brave enough to admit their product might just be moss. Every jar comes damp. Every hit reveals the same ghost, Margaret Withersby, a Victorian widow who desperately wants you to fix her plumbing. Our packaging is moist, and our terp profile is fungus adjacent. Guiding the whole company is Mr. Toadsworth, our CEO, a toad in a business suit who definitely went to Wharton. Moss Boss, not technically legal, not technically weed. Head to margaretwithersbyisalive.com and use code word GNC10 at checkout to get a free 1/8 of bog sweat, a new strain guaranteed to make you hot and bothered. Now back to the show. So something cool that we got this week, My Chemical Romance put out their second album as a remastered re-release on vinyl.
Oh, really?
And I've never seen anything like this before, but so like the first disc is the album and the second disc has like old BBC recordings on one side, and then the other side has the album cover cut into it as it, so like it won't play any music, so it'll just be random noises, but it has the whole album cover like cut into the vinyl. It looks awesome.
Shit. I don't think I ever really got into My Chemical Romance, to be honest with you.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I got to see them for the first time a couple years ago. It was them in Thursday. It was really good. But yeah, they have different phases of their discography because they've been around for so long, but I like the first 2 albums a lot.
Which one was
shit? And they're from New Jersey.
Yeah, they're from Jersey.
Ramapo High School, I believe. Jared went to, if I'm not mistaken.
Black Parade, I believe, was their 4th album.
There was songs off that I really liked that ADHD stemmed to for a little bit, I think.
I mean, I've definitely listened to like their popular songs, but I don't know that I ever owned a CD of theirs.
Love that teenage angst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then plus, Gerard makes comic books, which is cool.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he did. Umbrella Academy is.
Oh, that's right.
He made that, and then I believe he also wrote for Doom Patrol for a few years.
I know one thing I wanted to talk about, and Nerd, you had just gotten some Autopots.
Yeah.
All right, you're running your first Autopots right now, man. Talk to us about it.
First Autopots and first photos ever. It's a big thing. So I got 2 Sauce and 2 George's root beer going.
Okay.
And the Autopots, they're like, I don't know, maybe like this big right now. Maybe getting like third set of branches. And then I just turned the res on yesterday. I like just like judge turning the res on about the same time I would start filling up the earth box, like size wise.
Yeah.
And then so I had that going, and it seems to be going pretty good.
What system did you end up getting? Like, what's the res? What size tanks or not tank, but pots you running?
So I got the 4-pot XL. I think are the 6.6
cool
pots, right?
Oh yeah.
And then I have the 25-gallon Flexi Res.
Got the big boy.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's trying to mirror.
And you use my code, of course, right?
Yeah, always.
That's it.
Second walkout.
We're gonna have 2 walkouts onto the show.
That's so crazy. No, so like I didn't get the 25-gallon res that like to fill it, like to put a lot of water in it. But I figured like just with reses, I don't know. I just had the gut feeling like you might want some overhead. You probably don't want it fully filled all the time. Have some wiggle room in it.
Yeah,
just don't wiggle it itself.
Yeah.
The amount of if you look at like Amazon reviews of those blue reservoirs, the amount of people who just completely contradict the instructions that some of them are even like capitalized and highlighted, like do not move when filled with water.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried to shuffle it and it broke. 2 stars. Like, no.
Yeah. I have it on like it's like a little end table that you would put out on your patio. Yeah. So I also I can't fill it up too much because the legs will snap off of it. But I mean, keeping like 6-7 gallons in it.
I have the 13-gallon. I don't know if they just go larger with them or like taller, or if they go wider.
Yeah.
You'll have to get me the measurements. And like I said, I'll build you a base kind of like how I built mine. So that'll at least you can fill that sucker up a lot more.
And then move it around. And so I set up, my mom got my son a pool and I set it up yesterday, and it's like the pool's big enough where it should have a PVC frame, but it doesn't. So just like the Flexi tank, I had to like, as it was filling up, I had to like fluff up the walls and everything. Yeah. It was such a pain.
Your experience with fluffing, that shouldn't be too difficult.
He's got the motion down already. It's just second nature.
$20 is $20, as your employer says.
Yeah, I was really concerned that we weren't going to have many laughs this morning.
Yeah, it was. We weren't sure if it was going to happen.
Honestly, when I've listened, I'm terrible. I'm better at listening to podcasts, right? I want to be focused and listening to things. So when I listen to Yag, I listen to you guys. I have been cracking up so many times where like I wonder what the clients must think if they're watching me, that I'm just like in a garden bed, like laughing at, because they can't see the headphones. I'm wearing this big stupid hat because I'm so fucking pale and ginger, or I've got a sun hoodie up and I'm just like like laughing away, like I must look like a lunatic.
Who hired this guy? He smokes those funny cigarettes and then comes and works on our garden.
Oh God, we've got one client with a big garden. And they're like, when can we pay you? I'm like, this is great. No awkward. Like, hey, let's get payment done. And they know my wife's family, the boys that grew up in that family, they were pals with the boys of this family. And so every time I've mentioned, oh, we're over at such and such's house, they're like, oh yeah. their dad, like, he'd definitely gone with you. Like, I was, oh, really? Like, yes, I've been, like, waiting for this subtle thing to, like, mention it. Like, I've sent a couple of Lord of the Ring gifts where, like, they're puffing on pipes. Like, see, wonder if this will make any mention of it. Not yet. It's like, yeah, I want to meet this. I love meeting older boys and lasses that fucking enjoy a smoke. Like, when we went out to Johnny's and we met his dad's pal.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I fucking love shit like that, you know?
Yeah, so much fun. So much fun. Well, one thing I kind of had a question, I guess, that just came to me. This being yesterday was the first day of summer, kind of kicking this off. What, as like say growing up and today, what was something that you guys looked forward to once the summer kicked off, and once you started able to start going outside and doing things? I'll leave it kind of open to whoever wants to answer first. Because I have not thought of my answer because it just came off the top of my head.
So as like a teenager and a child, I was really into skateboarding. So summertime meant skateboarding time. There used to be a truck bed liner sprayer company a couple houses down from me when I was growing up, and they used to just put like so much scrap plywood and boards and stuff out back. So I walked in one day and I was like, hey, what are you doing with all that wood you keep putting out back? And they're like, we're just getting rid of it. And I was like, can I just take it? And they're like, yeah, anything in the back you can take. So then every summer we would go to them, grab all their wood, make a bunch of ramps. And then by the end of the summer, those ramps would be broken. And then we'd take the batch next year and make them again. But as an adult, I like going to like fairs and carnivals. I love playing carnival games, like arcades. Yeah. So when it gets nice out, I like to find outdoor video games because I'm a nerd.
At least he's consistent.
But yeah, I like trying like the weird food and playing the games and all that.
Hell yeah. For me, summertime always meant getting together with all my friends, and we lived in a pretty small area where all my friends we were able to either ride to each other's houses on bikes or something like that. So we would get like 5 or 6 of us, and we were always together, and we'd go out into the little woods. And like, I had recently gone back to that area, and I remember it being so much bigger, right? Like as a kid, and you go away from somewhere and then you come back to something, you're like, oh, this is not as big as I remember. And I remember as a kid, we go camping in these woods almost every weekend, the same group of guys. And I went back there and looked, and I was like, I knew we were out there drinking, hollering all night and just being stupid. How did people not see us or not say anything to us? Cause like I could literally see, like, we were not that deep in the woods. So that was what I always used to look forward to, was being able to go out and do stuff with friends. And these past few years for me, man, it's been getting the gardening and building my property back there to be what I want it to be for in the future. So that's kind of something that I look forward to, and I've been planning all winter. All right, what are we going to do outside? What are we going to, so that's my favorite summer activities.
I guess I'll go next. As a child, I would go out with my friends. I had some neighborhood friends. I lived on a dead end street. And at the very end of the dead end street, if you walked into the woods, there was an area we called Big Rock, where they had actually blasted the rock out, and it was all flat, this one area. So it was basically us going out there and doing mayhem every summer. We also had my dad had purchased a go-kart, and he also had a moped from the 70s that we would race up and down the street. And we had like this one section off at the dead end that was an empty lot, and we would go on there and do like a donut at the end. And eventually my buddy flipped the go-kart because he was going too fast and hit something, and it was like the greatest thing ever.
That's awesome.
We made movies. We did all kinds of activities like that during the summer, pretty much every year growing up. But as I've gotten older, I mainly like to travel now during the summer. Luckily with my job, I get 2 weeks off, and I usually go and do things. I'm usually gone the whole time, and I'm trying to like plan out stuff around those 2 weeks off during the summer to do other things too. So
that's coming up soon, huh?
Yeah, it's coming up soon. Yeah, I'll be coming up y'all's way actually. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that because I've been to New York, but I went to New York City on a band trip, and I was performing at the Statue of Liberty. So it wasn't like, I mean, I did some cool stuff, but I actually want to see like the whole state of New York, and I want to see.
It's not that right.
What are you talking? I've heard that. I thought there was apples everywhere. Like, what are we talking about?
No, it is a beautiful state. Unfortunately, you are far too early for apple season.
Dang it.
But yeah, no, it's a beautiful state. I just like to shit on New York.
Oh yeah.
Carry on.
What about you, Flamm?
The year was 1993.
Break it down.
The Tories were in power under John Major. The country was still reeling off the back of Margaret Thatcher closing down all the mines in the north. There's halcyon days of running around the neighbourhood. I also grew up in a dead-end street. However, we would call it a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot, actually, especially here where like my daughter, it's not a neighbourhood, right? It's close to it. Like we do have neighbours like close-ish, but it's not like a cookie cutter 1980s block of housing like I grew up in. And we were out all the time. Like when I say, like I say that for like, yeah, we were literally. I mean, I played a lot of like Nintendo and things as well, but during like daylight hours, especially, I remember one friend whose mum wouldn't let us come in the house most of the time.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're staying outside.
And we would just play. We'd be playing like versions of rugby and all these different kind of games that we would make. Was Kirby ever a thing across here? So I'm probably called something different, but you stand on like say a 1-lane, 2-lane kind of like residential street, right? And you've got the pavement sidewalk curb, right? And you'd stand at one side and on the sidewalk and launch like a volleyball, soccer ball across to try and hit that corner for the ball to bounce back. You then catch it. If you catch it, then you get to go in the middle and have like a conversion point and catch again, right? So this was huge in our neighborhood. It was kind of like basketball, right, in a way. And yeah, that was played so much. Huge hide and seek games. Nerd, you were talking about getting like building supplies. Behind my nan and papa's house, where they were round in a bungalow just round the corner from us, right? Like literally 15 seconds kind of thing. Behind them, there'd been like 2 different building companies failed to make like the next generation of these cookie cutter neighborhoods. And so there was scrap metal, scrap wood, all the rest of it. And some of the bigger kids would get it going and we'd help out making dens and forts and amongst all this like really like fucked up earth, partly excavated. And then we'd take all this stuff and put it together. And there was a haunted house right there and this is underneath like a 15th century castle, right, all by it. So it's like really fucking, when I think back about it, I'm like, oh, it's like this. So a couple of times ago, we went back, we'd been out smoking and drinking one night and we got the taxi to drop our friend off. And I said to him, all right, here, we'll just take a nip down here and we'll get past mum and nan and papa's house and we'll get to mum and dad's. I was so fucking lost because it's all now being built. So I was like, one point, I was like, wait, I think this is where we used to like have stone fights. We'd go and just throw stones at each other.
Jeez.
We'd be fucking throwing stones at each other, which is wild to think that across the water from us, like on a nice day, you can see it as the north of Ireland, and the kids were throwing stones at British Army officers and things, right? Oh, yeah, so we were throwing them at each other, but they were actually throwing it for justice. And it was brilliant, but we'd be outside like all the time. And there was a lot of kids. Like this was a very like new area that opened up, and so a lot of young families moved in, and it was kind of consistent for a while. And my mum and dad said it dropped off, and now it's happened again. My mum's like, it's just like when you boys grew up. There's just kids out having fun all the time and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. Like still, like I've still got my best mate from back in the day, Stu. I still speak to him. It's and a group of boys that we all grew up with, but him in particular, he was like my best mate growing up. But yeah, we were, like I said, just out. And as we got older, we would go down. We were right by the beach. I was maybe 1,000 yards from the Atlantic, the Irish Sea. And as we got older and started drinking and things, that's where we did a lot of our drinking. There's lots of fucking stories down there, like almost setting the dunes on fire people having to take their jackets off and just get seawater to try and douse this like super dry fucking long grass. It would have been disaster if that had really taken off. But a lot of firsts down there, a lot of boozing. Used to get a taxi driver to bring our booze for us, and like it doesn't get dark in Scotland during the summer sometimes until like 3 a.m.
Really?
You can actually see each other and things. It's wild. And so like, yeah, I've got lots of memories of just like out walking. We'd be out walking between parties and house parties, and we'd camp out overnight in between people's houses and things. And yeah, I think that's sometimes why I like being inside more, because I spent so much fucking time outside as a kid, and I've had so many outdoor jobs. It's like my wife is like, she's had a lot of office jobs, so now with our setup, she's outside gardening, and I'm like, oh God, I've been outside already this week. I can't just stay inside my inside plants. To not get bitten by bugs and all the rest of it, this exotic flesh for them.
So having 3 gingers on the show at once.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but being in direct sunlight is like physically painful. Like it hurts. It's not like, because I don't understand how people are like, oh, I just like to lay on the beach. It feels so good. And I'm like, no, it feels like someone's like holding matches to me. Like,
Yeah, I was standing outside yesterday, and I felt like I was on fire for hours. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I quite like the heat. Like my wife's always says, I don't know, I can handle work. Like I was working like full sun yesterday, but I had like long pants on, sun hoodie, this big ridiculous hemlock hat, and I kind of dig it. It's almost like kind of sauna-ish kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like the direct sun, and I worked in the Caribbean and things on like these vacations for this fucking rich family. And I was the only one not getting sunburned. I'm like, how am I the only one not getting sunburned? Are you kidding me? And I've got to this stage now where I'm trying not to use as much sunscreen and just like fucking cover up as best I can. Just because contradictory things about sunscreen and ingredients and whatnot. But yeah, it is. I can't understand. And if it's not, if I don't feel like that, I get the feeling in my head of, you're going to get burnt, you're going to get cancer, you're going to have more stuff cut out you. Like, and I was very sun safe growing up. I've probably only been like truly sunburnt about 3 times, I would say. One time on a vacation, like my shoulders got obliterated because I wasn't with my mum and dad reminding me to do it. It was like my first trip away with a friend's family. And man, we were chatting in the hot tub with girls all day. And I got fucking obliterated and then couldn't go in the hot tub for a couple of days with the girls. So that was
yeah, that's always miserable.
Sunstroke as well. Like I definitely, if I don't wear a hat, I think that's why I'm so prone to wearing fucking hats all the time. I get, or sun sickness, I think maybe it gets called over here too. Yeah. Headachy, throwing uppy feeling. Yeah, it's whack.
Go outside looking like a druid.
Yeah. I get usually like one sunburn for the year. Like you're right in the beginning, if I get it real bad, and then I'm good. But yeah, like I'm gonna blame half of my baldness on a really bad sunburn, because I got so badly sunburned when I was overseas. I wasn't wearing a cap and I had just freshly shaved my head, and it had gotten so sunburnt that it started scabbing, and after that my hair never grew right. So that's what I'm blaming.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, fucking sun.
Shit, I got a really bad story. I went, like Flamm was talking about your first time you were away from your parents. I went to a water park in Atlanta, Georgia on a band trip, and it was, of course, hanging out with the ladies. So I was trying to be out there with everybody, and we were all doing the lazy river. And I laid on that tube out like this on that lazy river for hours, and I was sunburnt from head to toe. And it was extremely painful, and I've ended up getting the blisters all over my body. And I went to a kickball game that Friday at school, and I was like, "Why am I the only one not sweating? Like, what is wrong with me?" But I feel awful. And it turned out it was the blisters, and all that stuff peeled off me at the kickball game. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I was like, "Damn, being a redhead."
And it's in Scotland especially, but probably the whole of the UK and Ireland, redheads do get the piss taken out of you, right? I have memories of walking down the street and like grown men, strangers across the street. Oh, Ginger, Fanta pants, and I'm like fucking 12 or something. Right? Like fuck off, like leave me alone. And it is the constant like reminder of it, but at the same time, it's like Yeah, mate. I fucking love being ginger though. I'm so unique.
Yeah.
Especially American lassies. There's something about some American lassies. I don't know if it's this whole obsession with like cosplaying as your ancestors that so many Americans do, but it's like they love the ginge. They love the gingers.
Yeah, I grew up with it. I got picked on a lot, so I hated it. I hated being a redhead. Yeah, I got teased all the time. My mom would never let me cut my hair, so I always had a fro. Like I'm naturally have curly hair, and my mom she always wanted the curls. So growing up, everybody made fun of me. They called me Ronald McDonald like all the time. There was it's still there. There's a liquor store in Nashville called Frugal McDougal's, and I was constantly called Frugal McDougal for like 2 years straight. But I used to go to the school right down the road from Frugal McDougal, so that didn't really help none. So it was brutal growing up. Like, I mean, I didn't get stopped teased for being a redhead until after I left high school, and then all of a sudden, ladies were like, "Oh, I love redheads." I'm like, where was this my whole life?
Yeah, right.
Like, why is this happening now?
The Ron Weasley generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That must be what it is.
South Park doing the ginger episode did not help things, I have to say. I don't think many Americans were hip to it. And then
I make that joke all the time between the ginger episode of South Park and the substitute teacher episode of Key and Peele. Like, Comedy Central basically accounts for most of my bullying.
Right?
But it's even like an aunt who like she'll not speak to me for months. It's fine, right? Whatever. But it's like she'll just drop some like ginger related news story to me or something, but not as like a here's some good ginger news. It's more just like, hey, ginger, like, fuck off.
Right.
But it's ridiculous.
I got a funny story. So I've been going to the same gas station since I was 17. So like I know the family that owns it. I don't know. I just been going there all the time. Like I know them. It's like part of the community and everything. They make breakfast. So even though it's like a regular gas station, it used to be a pizza shop with a deli in it, and they kept the deli and they like actually make food and everything. So my son graduated preschool this week. And when we walked into the auditorium for the ceremony, it had pictures of all the kids on the walls holding up signs of what they want to be when they grow up. So it's like doctor, mommy, firefighter. And then we get to my son and it says gas station worker. Because he loves that gas station just like I do. So the next day I took a picture of it and then I went to the gas station and I showed the family that owns it and they were crying, laughing. So they actually, I text them a picture. I text them the picture, and then they put it up on the wall. It says awesome. Employee of the Month over it.
Oh, yes, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Is that the same gas station that the lady asked if I was your brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's the same woman.
That's too funny.
He's like, are you guys brothers? I'm like, you've known me 19 years. You think you would have met my brother by now?
He's just the brother you've kept in the attic and feed fish heads to.
Yeah. Yeah. He's finally old enough. We've been able to wrangle him up. He's now presentable.
That's how I actually plan on genociding all the hippies in the world. They feed grateful fish heads.
But yeah, no, we haven't. We didn't talk. I don't think we've gotten on here to talk about since we went to see Mastodon and Coheed.
Mastodon and Coheed. Yeah. It
was a good show.
That was a fun show.
Oh, I'm jealous.
The only complaint that I had for the whole thing, and Nerd, I don't know if you noticed it or if I was just being a big bitch, but there was a fucking light on the stage that like it was honed in right on us,
right where we were sitting,
and it was just boom. It would like it. I wouldn't say a lot of the songs, but a good majority of the songs, this light would come on, and it would be so blind. Like you would just like try to like tough it out the first couple, and you're like, all right, yeah, this is too bright. So you're like, oh,
it got to the point where it was flashing, like rhythmically to the song. So then you're like blinking your eyes opposite so it doesn't get in your eyes. Huffy said the same thing when we hung out after that. And he was like, the thing is, it was a stationary light. Yeah. So all they had to do was like re-angle it. It's not like it was moving or anything. Like you think they would have accounted for that, but it was pretty cool. I never sat on the second level before, so I know we've talked about this venue, but it's like out in the wilderness, but it's like a big amphitheater kind of thing. There's a stream running through it and all that. Yeah. And then the amphitheater has a second level, and like I always thought it would be like nosebleeds crazy, but it's like awesome.
It gives you a perfect. I mean, I think if you were down at the bottom, you'd be looking up at the stage.
Yeah,
it seems like, or just straight forward. But this was like right where we had it. It was just looking straight down at him. It was awesome.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
So, cool thing about Coheed. So, there's a character from one of their newer music videos called Blindside Sunny, and he's like a skeleton biker kind of, yeah. And he has these big sunglasses that have like pixelated emojis on them. And the lights go off for like a couple seconds, and then the lights turn back on, and there's like a 30-foot tall bust of this character in the middle of the stage. It was huge, and its eyes would like all the pixels would move around to the music and everything in his sunglasses,
or it'd be like different signs.
And he talked for a little bit, and I was like, damn, that was so cool. But so I looked it up. It's like an inflatables company. But the thing that blew my mind about it is like inflatables like move around with the wind and stuff. This thing was completely solid looking. So it must have like a skeleton that like clicks together as it expands or something like that.
Yeah. Until you told me that, I had no idea. Like I thought it was structure because it was so stable. It was just sitting there, just like peering over the stage. It
blew up so fast. It was like the lights went. It was like, and it was there. You're like, holy shit.
They, so I've seen them twice now. The first time they were in the opening, opening up for the show. But this one, they definitely put on quite a show when it's their headlining show. And of course, they're gonna show out for the hometown, the home state, right? So. They did really, really awesome.
They're from like an hour away from here.
Is it not Nyack?
Nyack, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Mastodon was really good, especially their guitar player left a couple weeks before we saw them, so they had to fill in, but he was pretty good. And they had the monster come out.
Yeah. Mastodon puts on an amazing show too. They are really cool. It's as everybody knows, it's not exactly like it's not the stuff that I always go to listen to, but again, it's one of those things when you go to a live show and the energy that puts on, like you can't have a bad time. Like live music is just always going to bring you up. And if you're feeling crappy, so it's always easy to get into, and they put on a really, really good show.
They also started the show like a half hour early, so we didn't really get to see Periphery.
Oh,
like we saw them on because they have giant screens outside the amphitheater. We saw them on the screens while we were like getting something to drink, and my friends were at the merch booth and stuff like that. But yeah, they started playing like a half hour before they said.
You saw Periphery on the Periphery?
Yep, exactly.
That was meant to be seen, probably.
Yeah, you're like, that was actually the optimal viewing experience. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I got my first tent and sleeping bag ever. Speaking of outdoorsy stuff.
Hell yeah. Whoa, yeah, we've got a trip coming up, and unfortunately I don't Flamm, I heard you may not be coming anymore, or
nah, I'll not be able to swing. My wife is actually complaining about how busy our weekends are. Like, I'm getting no time to work in the property. I'm like, I know. Yeah, we're swamped. I'm not.
It's a busy time of the year for you. You got a lot of shit going on. You got the doing everything every weekend, plus your garden. Yeah, man. I don't blame you. You will be missed though.
I know. I've got plans. I was chatting with Matt Fratt. I'm going to try send some cuts up if they're ready, which I'm fingers crossed will be. But especially this GMO pie, which is like the really good washer, like 66.2% return when you wash it. It's kind of nuts numbers, and it is. I mean, I've been dabbing this stuff for a couple of years now. It's my absolute favorite, like red onion, black garlicky terps. Like, it's really fucking good. I spoke about it. I think I was speaking about it with Rev, but it was part of I got the cut, and then was able to then send it back to the original finder, who had to I don't know if you guys have chat with or online with PNW Grown. He's now going by Master of Booth, I think, because his account gets shut down. But really fucking just dope guy, and we've been trading and things. I knew him through autos right when I started getting into Instagram, and he had to shut down and start up again. So it was really cool getting that back to his garden. But then the one stipulation is that I do what I want with it, but I share it. So I'm hoping I've got a whole bunch of them in the cloner back there. There was some issues with the cloner, which I've been taught my lesson. But I'm hoping to get them to. I'm going to a Scottish event the weekend before, which is near Matfrat, and I'm going to try and get them to him then, even though he might be out of town at that time. I know what I mean. We're just trying to figure out the logistics, but he said he'll take them across. So hope I can make that happen for everyone. But yeah, I'd love to go out. It was a great time the last time, and I think about that trip often. And it'll be fun, man, for sure.
It was a whole lot of fun, and it's going to be awesome to be able to finally get Nerd Paranoid together. We're gonna hang out for the weekend. There's too many names for me to name off the top of my head, but it's gonna be a good one.
Is that why you got the tent and the sleeping bag, Nerd? Or part of the reason?
Your mute's on. Your mic's on mute.
No, your mute's on mic. Yeah, so that's most of the reason why. A couple other events and other things, but I figured it'd be a good thing to have on hand if I'm going to be hanging out outdoors. Yeah, I've only met Grateful out of everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I believe so. If I'm forgetting someone, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think I've only met Grateful. Obviously, the person who brought me into the community is not very active, but obviously I know that person as well. But yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that is. Because you haven't met five.
We used to do a lot of camping. Like when my wife and I were living in Utah, and like some weekends we'd have like the car packed and we just finish work and then just head straight up to the mountains and go camping. We used to do like quite ultra light as well, like not really packing much at all. And then at the end of every ski season, pretty much everyone would head down to the desert and you'd just go trip shrooms or climb or mountain bike or all the above. Yeah. And we take everything in the kitchen sinks. We've got like a big canvas tent, like a big spring bar. So for the Alabrihe party, that's what we're going to bring out. And
sweet.
Yeah, it'll be sweet. It'll be a good time. Hoping for not much humidity. I can't stand trying to camp in humidity, and I think that's probably why we haven't gone camping since we moved out here. Whereas like out in Utah, it's like especially when you're high up in elevation, it's just the perfect camping weather. It's so good.
Yeah, I always loved like the fall or early spring where it was like it was getting a little crisp at night, right? Just almost a little bit too cold, but just enough where you're not sweat. Like camping in the summer can be so miserable, right? Because like you wake up and the tent is baking you. It's freaking 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun's out, and you're already sweating. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I used to go camping a lot as a kid, but my grandparents used to fund their camping by doing like setting up flea markets. So they would like go like city to city. So whenever they were on the northeast part of their tour every summer, they would pick me up. But because they had they had like a double wide booth, so they had all the stuff, all the tables, all the inventory, all that. Like they had a full size RV. So I've never really I've slept in a tent a couple times, but usually in people's backyards for like sleepovers and stuff.
Sleeping in an RV is so much better.
Oh yeah, I did like RV. I did a lot of RV trips though.
Oh yeah.
We've got a tent where you could it was a Kelty tent, and from inside the tent you could pull the rain tarp back, and then the fly mesh was so thin, they call it the Stargazer, and you could literally just like crystal clear see right through it and see if you had it tight, and I would just watch the stars. My wife was always like, "Oh, it doesn't make you feel safe." Like, dude, as if the fly is going to make it any safer. But yeah, it was real. I fucking love that. It's just being up at that elevation, not as much trees, and you can just like go to sleep, like just watching stars and shooting. I always love looking for shooting stars. Yeah, it's fucking dope. Love it. What's it like down your way, Paranoid? Like camping out?
Oh, I love it down here. Speaking of camping, I actually bought a camper yesterday.
Hell yeah! Congratulations, dude.
Yeah.
We got to hear about it too.
Oh, God, that's going to be
we got to hear it.
Yeah, I been looking for a used camper just because after selling this house, it's been burning all this money's been burning a hole in my pocket. So I went a little crazy yesterday. Bought a camper and a 4-wheeler.
All the fun stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's a 1996 Fleetwood Terry. It's got a shower, a stove, a heat, AC. Everything you need. It's got it.
Is that a pull behind?
Yeah, it's a pull behind trailer. I had to have something that a Frontier can pull. So anything under 7,000 pounds, that's what I got.
Cool.
But yeah, camping down here in the South, it sucks during the summertime. You definitely have to have AC. I mean, you could do it in a tent, but it's not going to be as enjoyable.
It's a sweaty mess.
It's a very sweaty mess, 100%. Like I've done the camping at Bonnaroo, and I actually went and bought a Class A motorhome because I was like, I am not tent camping at Bonnaroo because it is so hot. Because somebody dies every year from heat exhaustion out there in the campgrounds. Like I'm not going to be the person that dies. But yeah, it's okay. During the winter time, it's like I normally camp during like the spring, the fall, and winter around here. Summertime, I'm usually inside.
Hide from the sun.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, I plan on taking that camper out here. We're going to Muddy Roots here in August, like the end of August. I mean, it's still gonna be hot, but I think that's gonna be like my first time I've taken it out and trying it out. You're
gonna stay then, right?
We're gonna stay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay this time. Yeah. I did the driving back and forth last time, and that was rough.
Yeah.
But I am gonna stay out there this time, and
fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
Wonderful time.
Now available on all platforms.
Yeah. I guess we haven't done much garden talk, and I mean,
done zero.
Paranoid, you're pretty well shut down, right? You don't have anything going on.
So I actually have a friend of mine that's keeping plans for me. I got jet fuel, and then the Bruce banner that I got from Flamm back in April. I still have that going. He's just vegging it out for me until I get my new place, and then once I convert the paint booth into a grow room, then I'll
so excited for that.
Bring that over. So yeah,
such a six.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The only other thing that I was planning on doing is buying a greenhouse here in a few weeks and setting that up to start up as soon as I get my new place. But yeah, that's all I got going right now, to be honest with you.
Well, do you remember what number Bruce Banner that was?
I think it was 7 or 4, one or the other. I don't remember
Probably
which
4.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, 4. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I had an issue with the Grove bags, and so some of them like just fucking turned to hay. It's like a known issue where the zippers were coming off, and
some
of them
Grove brand or just
the actual Grove brand. And so I'm not fully sure what number 4 tastes like, for example. So I'm interested to hear. I'm keeping the 6. The 6 is absolutely one of my favorite things I've had in a while. It's much more on the OG-ish side, but it's like super sticky, like gunks up the grinder. It can be hard to turn at times.
That's pretty well.
Yes, that's what I'm excited to see what it does. That's I maybe might be able to get that ready for Johnny's party. If I can get these plants to be in the right state to cut again. But yeah, it's been so. I have to say, as much as I love autos, and I've given away so many seeds and all that. I've been given tons of seeds. It's pretty cool just to be able to hand people plants and then just see them go. Like the jet fuel you gave me. One of them died off, kind of looked like maybe its roots rotted or something, but the other one just didn't do anything for ages. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to, again, put more focus into it and then get it in the stronger lights. And it's now, as you can see, it's starting to become healthier, and just the T5s weren't strong enough for it, I guess. So yeah, it's cool to see it come back. I just think of like that was just such a cool time. We're just like, oh yeah, I've got these in a Ziploc. They've been in a Ziploc for like 4 or 5 days, but fuck it, let's see what we can do with them. I just love that side of like, and within our community especially, like having things like that going on is really neat.
Yeah, it's fun. I do enjoy. I'm kind of seeing this now because I do have a few photos going, and I'm messing around with trying to clone. And I can see that being able to pass that same exact plant back and forth, and you're preserving the genetics, and that's awesome. I'm hoping that these clones that I'm doing out there work. I'm doing like a tote tech. I took some trays and I've got just those little peat pucks, right? And I put them in there, and I was trying to figure out. So I didn't want to go out to buy anything, so I looked up online, and I guess apple cider vinegar. At least from what I didn't do too much research, but just at a quick glance, you can use apple cider vinegar. I think it's like a half a teaspoon or something like that per 5 cups. Is supposedly a rooting hormone. So I did that. I made the solution, dipped the cutting in there, and then put it in some raw honey. Put it inside the pucks, and then I'm using a mushroom tote, right, where I have those holes drilled out, and I put some micro pour tape around it, and then put the lid over top, and been trying. They seem to be doing stuff, so really excited. So
I'd mothered. I didn't do a lot of autos over the winter, and I definitely didn't enjoy it as much, right? Like it's just not my style growing photos as well, and I was doing different things where I was like different newts and just a lot of things that were kind of push me out my comfort zone a bit. And for one, didn't enjoy, had moderate success. I can't believe some of the flower turned out so well considering how poorly I feel like I fucking grew it. But I had these huge fucking, essentially just mums, right? Like in this TED, and put them out in the high tunnel pretty early and all the rest. And like really say, how would they do? Oh, they did great. Unfortunately, because of I put them out too early with no additional light, they started flowering and all the rest of it. So they're planted some of them, and I let a couple of them just fucking die off in the high tunnel. But I did put a Bruce banner out. There's a little bit like, oh, fucking wish I'd thought of that smarter, but I had to get them out. I was done having them inside. But for next year, I'm definitely thinking, all right, when do I start these to make sure they get big? When do I actually put them outside? What could be an inexpensive way of supplementing lighting if need be? But yeah, I'm disappointed. I probably won't have any trees. Like these have budded and flowered so far along. I can't help seeing them. They're just going to rot or harm really bad, or something's going to happen to them. So they're just science experiments right now. Not really fucking with them much, but yeah, I'm kind of like, fuck, I wish I could have some massive trees.
Damn, yeah. Now, what I know, you got quite the veggie garden going too, and you've got a whole row of tobacco. I mean, you're one of the you joined us with the tobacco grow along, sharing your pictures every once in a while, and they're looking really good, man.
Yeah, thanks. I tried growing it before and got like a couple plants, but nothing close to what we've got now. I can't believe how small the seeds are. They are so tiny.
It's ridiculous.
And so like I did I multi-sow them? God, I'm trying to remember. We potted them up.
A while.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what did we do? And we did put them at 4 inches. I've actually still got another tray of like 16 I need to plant. But like, so you need to do some of them. They're starting to turn yellow in the pot. It's like, okay, I'll get to it. But yeah, they're really cool looking to grow. I really like the flowers. I'm excited to try and do this like different way of curing, like almost fermenting some of the leaves, because I've got what's the Cuban one called? I'm spacing some of the names right now, but I did one that's for like leaf, and then another one that could be like ground up. And I'm not even like that excited. Like I'm excited to like have like a blunt wrap kind of thing. I'm not as bothered about having the sprinkle inside. Yeah. But I will be interested just to try the different effects of it compared to mass produced and all the fuckery they do with it. When I was listening to I think it was the Rudy episode, you guys were talking at length about tobacco and that. Mm-hmm. That was one of the times I was laughing. I was thinking they're going to think I'm nuts. Was at that property actually. And like, yeah, like when you hear about them making into the paste and then drying that paste and then cutting it a certain way to make it look like flakes, and Like my dad smoked a lot of cigarettes growing up. I can't believe my dad's still alive, quite honestly. It's kind of wasted his body with that stuff. But it'll be interesting to see it. And we've had a lot of deer pressure. We've got more rabbits than I've ever seen in all the years we've lived here. And so we've got it like Fort Knox in areas, but it's just getting really, I get really disheartened when that, like, it's one thing when it's my fuck up, when it's like an external force that does it, I just get really down. Like all the deer have eaten our hostas, all of our nice big plants around the house that would have been like absolutely gorgeous. They fucking decimated them. So I'm like, that's why I love indoor gardening so much, is I don't have to deal with that. Like I've learned a lot of my lessons. I don't go near my tents now without like changing clothes and showering and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. My wife, again, shout out to her. She does the mass majority of the outdoors stuff. And that area there, like we've got a lot of flowers going. Partly just in there because we can see them. Like we were talking about doing cut flowers for sale, which we probably still do that here and there. But it was more just like, we don't want the deer fucking with it. So we've got this really big enclosed bit. We're not doing anything in the high tunnel. Like I learned my lesson last year about having too much going on. I find it difficult enough to get out the door by 9 a.m. to go do gardening for clients without having to add on an additional like half hour of watering. And
that's what I always get myself into. I'm early in the season, all the seed, right? Everything is really small. So you're like, oh, this isn't that much. So I can just add a little bit more. And then the thing is but in like 3 months from now, these plants are all going to be huge and you're not going to have room for any of this shit.
Yeah. And the more that we learn from each other about, like, I constantly think I'm paranoid when I see my silica, right? Like I've always known about it. I just never amended with it. And since adding that into like my super soil recipe or giving a wee top dress, like the plants have just gone from strength to strength. Or even when I've used other brands of silica, like the yellow bloom bottles over the winter there, that's the most sturdy fucking bush plants I've ever had. They were like rock, no sway to them at all. And so implementing that in other styles of our garden, like I'm really proud. My biggest thing I'm proud of from this year has been I did all the seedling mix, I did all the like vegetative kind of mix before we transplanted. And like I took my time with it, I cooked it, I properly researched it, I used AI a little bit too, then fucking triple guessed everything it said to me because it tried to tell me to use 3 cups of silica at one point. I was like, what the fuck are you? I didn't even wrote, what the fuck are you talking about? 3 cups of silica. It's just came out absolutely wonderful. And again, but even still, we had deer got into that big area because we hadn't fixed one of the doors right. And it topped some of my peppers. And it was like, oh, fuck off. So those ones I've just left to see how that level of topping, how would they come out. But yeah, just being smart about what we're growing and what we can just buy and trade from friends. I've got a bunch. Alabrihe sent my daughter. I think have I talked to this before? Alabrihe was really nice to send my daughter a care package because he knew that she loves her reggae music. Yeah. And he sent her out a big Bob Marley flag and then a Scottish saltire flag. It's the balloon white one. That's awesome. And a wee handwritten note and some stickers and some seeds. And I think is it North Georgia? It's his candy roaster.
Yeah. I've got them growing. They take off quick, dude.
Dude, ridiculous, right? Like I was questioning like, what's wrong with the rest of you? See this? This one's got flying. And I've popped that. I'm really excited for them. And so I just trying to be more mindful. And I always get that, why didn't I pop these seeds? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And it's just, that's what's so great about gardening. There's so many different things. And I'm always thinking of you too, grateful, because I've still not made my fucking potato towers.
Oh,
and those tatties have been sitting in the bag for way too long. I'm like, I need to do that today.
It's too easy, dude. Too easy.
I know. Just do it.
Your hay over there and just go to town.
And I've got everything. I've literally got everything I need. And it's like, I just need to, why am I taking so long to do it? So that is my goal today. I promise you, I will make that tatty tower.
I want some pictures. I will check in mid-afternoon with you and ask you how your towers are doing. Dude, I'm telling you, you see me posting pictures of them. They are absolutely crushing it. And as long as I get good, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't get good growth. Maybe I think you do some compost or something like that. But dude, it is absolutely crushing it. And I've been this is definitely the hardest I've gone at it in the years that I've been out here. Johnny always preached about that fish emulsion, right? So I was like, oh fuck it, I gotta try it, because I knew I put everything outside way too early. It was still getting too cold. I didn't really have the means to take care of all these plants that I had started, and they were growing too quick, and I didn't have. So I was like, all right, well, it's sink or swim. Like, you're going in the ground, and we're gonna see what you can do. But I remember Johnny saying, like, hey, having some issues with the your plants, and get some fish emulsion out there. So I was like, fuck it, let's go buy it and give it a try. And it between that, I've been doing foliar feeds with like labs, comfrey extract, and I mean, like, I've just been hitting them hard, and they're pulling through, and here we are. So
it's so amazing. This, even I almost consider this stuff the kind of entry levelish things as I see of KNF and JADM and things, right?
Yeah.
And it's what I'm dabbling that kind of thing too. And there's so many times like I'll hear, like, for example, Nerd talking about his stuff he's had in the bucket for over a year and that, right?
We actually opened it the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And it's like,
actually.
let's get this stuff going, and I fucking put it off or whatever, or the deer eat my comfrey plant that I had going, like, motherfuckers. But doing all this bio activity, even though I don't fully understand everything behind it, I can see, because I have eyes, of how well it works.
Yeah.
And when I find people that I know it sound big-headed, my wife and I have definitely inspired a lot of people to garden, not even from being at our classes or doing demonstrations, whatever, just from being around us and chatting, and I think just seeing how happy we are and things, right? Like, take care of the plants, and the plants will take care of you, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy was over actually asking, hey, you don't have any wheat clones, do you? I was like, yeah, man, fucking come over, we'll get it done. He's going to chop down some trees for us. But then he started showing us his garden, and he was showing me what he's up to, and he was using a miracle grow thing, and I was trying not to shit on it, right? Because I always say everyone's got their own way of doing it. But he was asking me certain questions, and it led naturally to me saying, well, you're doing this great work. He was talking about earthworm castings, but then he was also spraying with miracle grow things. And I was like, that might contradict each other. I said, don't quote me on it, but I personally wouldn't use both. I would stick to one discipline or the other kind of thing. And so I was like, there's other stuff you can use instead of the miracle. And I talked about like fish emulsion and all that kind of thing. And so it's really easy. You're just pouring it. He works in it. He's a smart guy. He's working his way to homesteading as well. And it's just like these simple things you can do can just make such an amazing impact to your garden. I'd said to the wife about, I think I'm going to start just doing maybe once a month or so. I'll make a big bucket of some kind of mix, right? Labs, photosynthesis plus, whatever. And I'm going to offer folk to come bring a jug, or maybe I'll just have something like jugs or something ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, come buy some fucking compost tea. It'll be ready on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And just bubble it overnight, and it's, give me a donation or I'll charge however much for it to cover some of my costs. But like, yeah, use this stuff rather than fucking going to the store and buying this other shit. Like, this is super fresh. And
that's a great idea.
Why not, right?
That is good. That's great. Yeah. We have somebody that does that around here every once in a while, but it's a hydro store. They've got one of those big, huge mixers, and you can,
cool.
It's like $10. You bring your own jug or whatever like that. But I love that you would look into doing that, man. Sounds fun, because I
think I might have to, because now I'm thinking about it. I've got like big vessels that I could go bigger if it did take off.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you start, right? People start seeing that, and then they're like, oh, well, what else does he know?
Yeah.
Like look how good this is doing for my garden. Like, what else can we figure out from him?
And I tell you, I'll send you a picture by mid-afternoon.
Okay.
I'll get that going too, right next to the Tatty Tower.
Nice.
Typical ADHD overload. And my wife's like, you've not done any of the things you promised me to do 3 weeks ago. But look at this Tatty Tower and look at this fucking.
That's awesome, though, dude. That's you gotta try it, man. Gotta try it. And that's the other thing I've been hitting my garden with. I've been doing teas every week, worm casting teas. Fucking loving it.
Fucking shout out to Cumin. He came up and I thought we were going to make the Tatty Towers. Oh yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then it ended up being him and his wife helped us get my wife's pottery set up, right? So maximum shout out, specialties, Mrs. She was great being organised with it and great ideas of what to say. She kept me in line, which is difficult too. It's really wonderful. And I asked him to pick me up a couple big bags of worm castings from the store, and then the cunt wouldn't let me fucking pay for it. I'm just like, mate, come on, let me You're too generous. They gave my daughter a Lego set and things. Like, he's just so nice. Again, this community is just so wonderful. But it's like, let me get this right. You two are coming to volunteer up here, yet you're bringing us gifts. I'm not quite understanding how this is going.
To work. Thank you.
Right. He did get sent home with a bunch of Alba seeds and some tangy seeds, some tangy flour.
So it all worked out.
To do it. So it all worked out. I still feel I got the very, very, very good end of the stick and all of it, quite honestly.
That's and he's going to be over at the Alba pop-up, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think we're going to try and him and Ohio Nugs. I think we'll be pulling through together.
Awesome.
That's the plan I'm trying to formulate. That'll be good. Another ginger in Ohio Nugs.
Yay.
There's a lot.
I'll get Cumin a wig. I think more people have to start rocking ginger wigs, maybe. I'm going to feel left out, minorities. But yeah, that'll be fucking dope. Yeah, worm castings are just great. I've got a wee tier system out of 5-gallon pickle tubs that I've got going now. I used to have a worm bin back in Utah. That's where I'd hide my leaves, so I'd just have the worms eat them. The big urban worm bag thing. And gave that to a Mormon friend as we left Utah. There you go, mate. Don't dig too far deep. You're not going to like what you see. But it's cool to have it going again. A wee fella who's at my class that I volunteer at, he'd asked to come over, and then the second day he's like, "Do we make worm bins?" I was like, "We could actually make worm bins. I've got everything we need to do it." So the two of us, and he knows how to use power tools, so he was zipping away. And it's great. So now we've got the worms rocking, and they're very happy in there. I've even started to get some castings already, which is really dope.
Awesome.
I
need to set up my new one because I crashed. Mine's crashed down. So my urban worm bin that I had, I didn't feed it for months, and it's basically just dead now. So I need to start a new one, and I think I'm going to build it outside.
Cool.
That's what I'll do. So fuck it.
I need another building to do stuff like that. I need more, especially now we've got the pottery going. It's like I'm determined to not overtake it with gardening stuff. Like, my wife might finally leave me if I do. So like, even right now as I'm sitting here going like, oh, I should have gone out to the garage and cleaned up those microgreen trays before I jumped on this call.
But yeah, so she's got that nice little spot now, and she's how's she liking it? She spent a bunch of time over there making all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's been really dope. So we've got 2 wheels, we've got the kiln, and we've got a huge slab roller. And so it's got its own dedicated spot, and there's a wee fella who comes over to volunteer, on the property. I think he's been getting into more trouble than his mum's been letting on, but these boys, like, just, it's my whole life, right? Like, lads that can't behave themselves in a lot of traditional settings, they always gravitate towards me in different ways, right? So here's another one. And so he's been coming over and doing like washing trays and weeding for us, helping us plant. And you can just see how excited he gets. And then he left one day early to go back and set up his own garden. I was like, fucking the best feeling. And but he mentioned he wants to get into pottery. So now the deal is he works for an hour, then my wife teaches him for an hour. So he's had 2 lessons in the last week and a bit. And it's really helped my wife develop her teaching style. Because she's not got a teaching background. She kind of taught me to pass my driving test. And as someone who has a teaching degree, I don't agree with her pedagogical methods. But however, and I've told her this, on the other hand, with her pottery, she's doing it all. She's like linking things like being mindful about and like visualizing and the kind of mechanics of it, like put your elbow here, put your hand this. It's similar to how you would hold something else, right? And that's all how I believe you teach things, especially physical acts. And so it's been really cool to get that. And I didn't want to get into it because I was like, no, that's her thing. Like, I want her to have, she lets me do all this crazy shit and let her have that. But she's been like, no, she wants me to do it. And so I made a wee Highland coup. I'm going to start just working on lifting it up. But she is just so talented. So she's been making like, again, different pots. She's been texting me this morning, pissed off that people are selling crafts that they didn't make at the farmer's market. It's like an asterisk of, if you made it and it's something to do with your business, you can sell it. But people are taking the piss. And so she's like, I don't have any pots ready because I'm too busy gardening outside. I'm like, Sorry, don't know what to tell you. But it's really cool. I'm just she's been doing really good, and we're just at that stage of figuring out, all right, it is part of our business because we've already been deducting things as we purchase. Well, let's move it to the next step of we're going down this week, probably buy more clay and start offering kiln space and lessons and all that, and just trying to offset some of the costs because the kiln costs a bit to run, and there's a really good centre here, an art centre here in town. However, like my wife was waiting like 6 months sometimes to get things fired, like just insanity. And it's not that busy. It's just business, right? So something to be conscious to that. And then the friends who donated, gave us long-term loan, how we talk about it, the kiln and the wheel and the slab roller, they're just fucking want to see my wife, us succeed in things, right? So it's just really, really supportive. And I met her through the Master Gardeners. So it's all, again, this plant stuff, right? Yeah. And so we'll go trade some like labour hours over there. I might cancel her subscription for our microgreens and just give them to it for free for a while. Whatever, I mean, we're just neither of us, we're not that money motivated. So sometimes it's hard to figure out something that everyone's kind of happy with, because she'd pretty much give it to us. And I'm like, nah, man, we need to, something doesn't feel right. I like a bit of quid pro quo, to be honest. If it's
no, absolutely.
And so it's wonderful. And it's wonderful to see my daughter create too. Like I've got these amazing memories already this summer of the two of them sitting, nobody's saying a word, which is fucking rare, especially around my daughter and me. And we're just making art. Making art. It's really cool. And she doesn't want to do it. My daughter wants to do that. Like we're trying to get her involved in things. Like she doesn't want to do any clubs, but she's quite happy just to come out with us to the garage and work and make art and for 5 minutes until she gets distracted by something and then just
kids can be tough, man. We've tried that with my daughter, and she'll do it for a little bit and this and that. But I'm gonna plant this idea, if it hasn't already been planted into your brain, and say that we look forward to ceramics with the Alba brand coming up, hopefully. So that would be that'd be cool, man. Get some.
And I do love it. That's what's so inspiring. Like there's times when I see what all the different people creating things, creating their art, creating their crafts, whatever. And it's more the merrier. It's like your mum's herb stripper sits on our counter, right?
Yeah.
And although I don't use it as much because the herbs that I use, like you wouldn't use it like for that. I just love seeing it. It's just a wee smile of like, oh, there's another thing from the farms. And it's great to see what she's doing. I saw she was doing like events and all that. And it's just this constant inspiration of like yes, like we sell things to each other through Discords, Instagram, website and all that. But it's more the fact that everyone's doing it. Like that is the point. Like I keep saying to my wife, I want you to understand you're under no pressure to sell this stuff. I just want you creating. I think it just, I talk about it all the time. I had a meeting with my art teacher wanted to have a meeting with my mum and dad when I was age 13 to convince them and to convince me to take an art over PE. But I wanted to be a PE teacher already at that time. That's what I went to university for. But I couldn't pick both because that wasn't an option in the column. And it's always been this thing of like, I've always doodled, I've always fucked around and making wee things and making gifts and all the rest of it. And that's why I love this space. It allows me to do it. Whereas before there's this wee thing, what the fuck are you doing? Get on with it. We're very west of Scotland. Like our area of Scotland has so many like famous creators, yet at the same time, it gets shat on all the time. It's, and so again, that's what I love. Like you take a look at a lot of the folk in our group, especially you beardy cunts. And it's like, you could be, if you're not smiling, folk can maybe think you could be a bit rough, and it couldn't be further from the truth, right? And that's what I really, really enjoy is there's so many folk to not judge a book by their cover, and be it making things with your hands or creating content or all the above or whatever. It's absolutely wonderful to see. And I do think about Ala Brehe's wife knocking out art and things and being inspired by it, but not ripping off. I do see other people trying to do it, but I see it being super ripping off. Like, dude, come on. Like, be more inspired than that. Like, yes, it's hard not to be inspired by stuff. Is art original, right? That kind of conversation. But start there and then work it to be your own thing. It's like a lot of 90s toys. Things get kind of like, there's a ways of being inspired by it without like ripping it off, I feel like.
No, absolutely.
And it's like, it can be a fine line at times, but other times it doesn't have to be. It's like, make something your own, you know? But it's fucking really dope. And I feel just so spoiled and blessed. And I talk about manifest, and I was saying that to the intern's mum the other day. Like, I can't say like I manifested this. We've got no money to buy something like this, but through community and friendship and art, and plants, that's what's happened to you. You know, I can't. As much as I grew up very traditionalist, it's hard for me to ignore that kind of thing. You know, it's like
no, absolutely. You put yourself out there for these things to happen, right? If you were to shut yourself off from anybody, right? Nothing like that's ever gonna, or very, very rare is something like that can happen. But once you become this part of the community, and you're always the bright one in the community, right? You're always in there laughing or making jokes and this and that, and it makes it very easy to be personable with you. So,
and I try, even though like the last few weeks, I try and bury my head in the sand about stuff, right? Like, to get not as jokey laugh. Like, there's things going on around the world. Fuck it, I'll say it. Free Palestine. What's going on over there is fucking disgusting, right? Yeah. And I didn't read the news. I knew it was going on. I didn't read the news articles, so I thought, my mental health can't fucking take this. I don't like being fucking angry. Because for as happy as I am, I get just as angry. I don't lash out physically at people. I'm not like aggressive and all that, but I have like a festering anger, which again, cannabis and mushrooms help me with, right?
Absolutely.
And I see that stuff, it angers me. Fuck ICE. I can't believe this shit's going on, and the fact that they're masking up and all the rest of it. Yeah. I've got family in law enforcement, right? I've been around it my whole life, right? My dad was one for a while, but I remember him sitting me down when I started hitting the streets and that, and saying, don't fucking talk to cops, don't tell them anything, you call me if anything ever happens. Yeah. And 4 years later, something eventually fucking did happen, right? And there's so many things where I'm just like, this is fucking absolute bullshit. Like, I can't. But what's nice is becoming into the space, which at times, like on the YAG, like things do get brought up and talked about. And most people seem to be very similar to the right way, and not the right way, sorry, and on the same wavelength, I should say. I don't want it just to be like an echo chamber where it's all just the same thing. Like, we have to have nuance and difference in it. Sure, I genuinely feel sorry for people that feel conservatively in this country, because you can't just, we need fiscal conservative people, because there'll be folk like me who just wants to give everything away, right? I'd be like, yep, fucking let's just have a universal income for everybody and see what happens, right? We've given enough money away to billionaires. Let's just see what happens, right? We've tried all this other stuff. Top down doesn't work, right? So we need folk that are fiscally conservative to pull that back. But unfortunately, it's just overtaken with these fucking lunatics who all project out exactly this awful behaviours many of them in their leadership are doing. And it just makes me incredibly angry and sad, right? And I know, for example, if people listen to this that know me, they're not going to be happy about me saying this stuff, right? Because I've seen what they post, and I'm just like, don't fucking get into it. Don't fall out with people. Yeah. But it's just fucking bubbling up. And but it is wonderful that on those times where like and there's other things like actually involving in my life which are just adding on to it, which can be upsetting, right? But jumping onto the Discords and seeing things where it's like I'm not at all involved in, it's people giving each other shit or whatever, and I just like I find laughs, and it helps me change my mindset. I'm like, all right, what can you actually change yourself? Can I keep your mouth shut? Even though I'm a citizen, I feel like I'm a citizen with an asterisk, right? Quite honestly. Because he passed the civics test that many Americans couldn't pass, but he wasn't born here. And now we're talking about getting rid of that. And so it's like, oh my God, like what the fuck is happening? And just to see so many people of a country built by rebels, founded by rebels, built by children, it is very difficult for me to wrap my head around it. Like I'd always seen America and heard about the Scots all moving to America because of genocide, the Highland clearances, right? I'm seeing all the same stuff that happened to my ancestors. Like my great grandfather didn't speak English till he was 14, had to learn English to get by, right? I can see all that stuff happening again, right? And it's like, and it happens all through history, it always has. Sure. But now it's a time of like, why the fuck are we putting up with this? Like, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. And then more money getting spent for fucking killing people. Like, I don't want to die for Israel. Right. I don't want to die for that. Like, if they start pissing off other countries and things, and Pakistan are saying they're getting involved, and like, oh my God, these men are going to kill us all.
It's a tough time right now. And it's always politics, religion, and money is always a tough subject. There's always motives behind everything, this or that, and you never know the whole story, or you think you may know the whole story. And that is one of the reasons why I personally like to stay out of politics. They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. Some of them fucking stink worse than others. And it is what it is, right? Unfortunately, it does. There's so many different personalities and views that make the world go round. And if we want to be accepting of them all, it's kind of like how, it's a very tough, slippery slope that things get down into. And but that's about as much as I'm going to touch on any kind of.
No, it's fine. And I say, like, what I appreciate, like, Rev and I, right, we have a lot of very similar things, but a couple key ones not. But we ultimately absolutely say, like, fuck politicians, right? Like, I do not trust them at all. There's stuff going on with issue 2 right now. Like, I didn't go to any of the marches a week ago because my daughter and I went to an amusement park because we had that booked for fucking months to go with some friends, right? And I honestly don't know if I'd go because I'm so, like, just big, huge politics. I'm like, fuck it. Whereas there's stuff going on in Ohio right now where they're trying to mess with a voter pass initiative for cannabis, and they're trying to sneak it in before the Senate break on Tuesday, right? So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going down there on Tuesday. And I'm just like, I'm just so tired of it all because that's what they want, right? Is it going to change what I do? No, right? Honestly, no. Unfortunately, yes, more people know that I do this because I've been more lax about it because of legalization things. But it's like, at what point, like, my wife's worried about me going to something and getting into trouble, or something, right? Or not being able to prove my citizenship, and then getting detained. They're detaining tourists and things. My family's not going to come visit me. So there's another reason I'm fucking pissed off is my family aren't going to allow them to go through their phones, right? So it's like, well, they're not getting in the country then. All right, well, there's money wasted on flights and you're not getting in, So it's things like that where it's like, I'm the same, mate. I don't trust, but I haven't voted in fucking forever, right? I got my citizenship, I did vote. I'm not going to vote again, probably, right? Like, it's just, I don't believe in it as much as I did when I was growing up. We talk about democracy, what even really is it? We've not had freedoms until like the 50s and the 60s, really, until everyone gets to vote. The UK has not had it for that much longer. And so it's just this wee blip where they say, all right, let's give the working class, like I talk about being proudly working class, let's give them this little taste of this. And I'm like, no, that was way too much. Put the fucking cat in the bag. We can't be going on with this. And as much as I like try to avoid it, it is just so ingrained in our life, and it's affecting more and more folk. And it's affecting people who are just trying to make it by. It shouldn't cost $7,000 to live here legally. So it's at least $7,000, right? Like, that is and you're paying taxes during all that, right? Yeah. And so it makes me really fucking annoyed that it's like, well, my grandparents did it the right way. Your grandparents fucking paid nothing to get in here, right? It's not the same. Again, Western culture or human culture has found a way of making money out of every fucking thing, right? Like, we already pay more taxes here and get less. And I feel at times, like, when I look back at my time here, people ask for my more unique perspective, but then don't really like the answer when I try and be balanced about it, because I'll say, oh, I'm nuts when it comes to this. But here's like the shady characters involved with it, right? Yeah. But it's just mind pickling to me, and thank goodness for substances like cannabis and psilocybin to help us through some of it, and
that's it,
and get over it and make me rethink and double think like what I've been taught my whole life. And when it's like, it's when you get taught like, oh, that you have to be careful for the British. That's my whole life growing up. So I've always been wary of institutions. It's really hard for me to like get on board with it and then see people who I think should be more in line like I am be bootlickers. I just don't get it. Like, it's just perplexing to me,
And I think you said it earlier, like you're focusing on your local stuff. I think if we had more people that are more concerned about what's going on in and around their life, we probably wouldn't have as many issues if people weren't worrying about everything else, right? We can only control so much. There's only so much that we have control around us, right? So I think if you focus on your own stuff, whether it's keeping yourself busy, making sure that your local community, if you want to focus on politics, focus on your local community, because that's the ones ultimately that they're right around you. What you have your reach out, of course, whatever is going on across the world and what's going on in other states and across the country, of course, that's going to affect us either way, right? It just does. But there's only so much that we can do as one person.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get wrapped up in. It's easy to get upset about those things and to bring you down. So it sucks, but I kind of am of the belief. I keep my head down, keep my nose clean, and just do what I can right here. You know what I mean? Like I'm the only one. My friends, my family, they're the only ones that are immediately around here helping me. So they're the ones that I need to be helping.
Yeah.
That's what I got to worry about.
When I saw Mike Love in Utah earlier in the year, right, it was amazing, right? I got to meet him at the end of the show. I talked about this in Paranoid's podcast and like what a profound effect his music's had on me, and him talking about leaders and the album's called, his most recent album's called Leaders, and he was talking at one point of like, how do we navigate this whole like tribalism and clashing and vitriolicness that's going on. And it's just like you're saying, Grateful. It's like, lead by example, and like people closest to you, like affect them in a positive way.
Yep.
Like, how can that be? Like this young lad that's coming to us. Yeah, we could have him just washing trays for us, right? Like just get my green trays washed. But I get this guilt of, what's he really learning? Like, yes, that is what we need help with, right? But let's get him over here. Let's teach him how to water the microgreens and let's do this and that. And then he gets like really inspired and he finds that he goes home and does it. And it's like, right, that's what I'm trying to fucking do.
Yes.
Right?
That's what we need more people doing is focusing on the people that they can help, instead of just yelling at a TV or yelling at your, at this person over there or that. Just try to do something, that you can control, that you can see and make a difference.
Yeah.
If we had more people doing that, I think we'd have a lot less fighting and a lot less other shit that's going on around the world. Right. So
to that, let's we should, I'm maybe thinking maybe it doesn't happen this September, maybe look forward of doing, like, when we all get together, finding a wee service project that we can do. Like, for example, smoking a bunch of weed and picking up trash down some nice pathway or something, right? And just do it, right? Like, it's good to do it. So it's on brand.
I can dig it. We can definitely talk to everybody and see what's going on. What's up, Paranoid?
We totally skipped over Nerd on his grow. What do you got growing on?
All right, so we already talked about the Autopot stuff. I have an orange stomper that I'm hopefully going to harvest today.
Oh shit!
Never got around to it yesterday. And then I have pineapple treats that is like starting to put on buds. Outside, my peppers are looking good. My garlic's looking good. My tobacco. So I had something weird happen. So my dog kept trying to get into my tobacco, right? So I put up a fence around it, and then he started trying to dig under the fence to get to it. So when I made all of my potato bags, I lined them around the edge of the fence so that you can't dig it. And one of the fabric pots for the potatoes fell over onto the tobacco plant. And then when I picked it up the next day, it was just all covered in beetles. And the one leaf, tobacco leaf that it fell on, was completely eaten.
Damn.
But after I picked it up, they all went away and I haven't seen them since. It was just like, it must have, like, it was like raining and they were touching or something.
Yeah.
And so it seems good now, but that one leaf is fucked. But it's looking good otherwise.
So it was big to begin with, so I imagine that thing's pretty darn big. You said it started to flower, right?
Yep. Yeah, I gotta go. I'll go top it.
Go cut the head off. Oh yeah.
But yeah, everything's looking good. I still have 2 raised beds that I have nothing in, just because I haven't had time. Because I set up one of those like big, intricate fort swing sets for my son, and then I filled up the pool, and then keeping on top of yard work on top of that.
Yeah,
I just haven't got down the to-do list to gardening more yet.
Go throw some like just like beans that you can do like direct sow, right? I mean, today, like, this is probably the latest you could probably get away with it, but just go throw some fucking seeds out there and just let them just do whatever they're gonna do, right?
Yeah, true. Well, I had tomatoes going in the one raised bed, and they just animal ate them. So I have to find time to go put remember you and I put the mesh wire around everything? I got to go do that for the other 2 beds still.
Damn. Well,
yeah. Anytime Grateful comes over, I make him do housework.
there was one day that I think I was either, I don't know, was I in between jobs or I had gotten done early, and he's like, yeah, I'm out here working on the fence. I was like, all right, I'll be over shortly. And then we were up hanging his door back up and all that shit. And yeah, but it's fun. It's the stuff I enjoy doing.
Like, he's my gardening friend. We can do yard work together.
Spray each other with the hose.
No. No. See, that's we should be buckling down and making reels like that.
For real.
Play the My Girl theme tune in the background.
It is funny though, because we'll get together and we'll talk. We'll mention that like while we're doing something, like about making a reel out of it or this or that, and it's fucking the ideas that roll out are always so fucking funny.
I find some of my funniest ideas happen when I've like deleted Instagram and Discord off my phone because I can't fucking stay off it. And I'm like, oh, that'd have been really good just to do that. And I'm like, should I just do this chore later and then I could like film it? Like, no, just fucking get it done. Like,
yeah, I do find myself getting in the cycle sometimes, and I've got to put it down. So it can be hard. You get sucked to that phone and you're just sitting there staring at it and scrolling through all kinds of shit.
Well, it's like you say, like just get something in direct sew, and then I get in this like paralysis by analysis, like, oh, should I do like direct sew but like multi sew them like 4 to 5? How much should it be for beans? Let me look that up, and I'm like, just fucking do it.
Just throw it out there. Fuck it. Yep.
Just fucking do it.
Just do it. Yeah, I should just throw a handful down.
Fuck it.
Actually, that's a really good tagline. Just do it. Should fucking look at that.
I wonder if we can copyright that.
Yeah, we better mail that to ourselves. Yeah, so my backyard is like completely full right now. So now I got 5 raised beds, a trampoline, a swing set with a fort, and
love it.
A pool.
The boys got to be having a great time with it.
Oh yeah, so much fun.
Taking it.
So later on today, I'm gonna have to pull out the lawnmower and like zigzag my way through everything.
Get those lasers, bruh. The movie Caddyshack is a documentary, by the way. I worked at a golf course for 2 seasons. It is an absolute documentary. It was exactly like that.
It's a great movie.
The robot lawnmowers. Yeah.
The what? Oh, the robot. Yeah.
Oh, like they just run around like little Roombas.
It's like a Roomba, but it mows the lawn. So a couple people in my neighborhood got them, and you have to like put this sign in your lawn that's like, this is a robot, lawnmower, don't touch it. Like, so I've been seeing those signs pop up around. I was like, damn, they must be getting to the point where they're like somewhat affordable.
Yeah, last time I thought they were fucking expensive as hell.
I've just seen services do it. Like they're offering it as a service.
Oh, like they come put it in your yard and then come pick it up.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Any American building a big thing should fucking immediately, like, for example, your fucking RV you just bought, immediately pretend to list it as an Airbnb. Boom, you've got a fucking, that's written off. Done.
It's an office.
It's an office. Yeah.
Workspace.
I need a mobile office. But that's legit. That's literally what it's set up to be like, is that stuff. It's fucking wild. Yeah, our grass needs cut bad. We've got a ride on, and my wife does enjoy to do it. But it's like it needs a fucking haircut.
Yeah. My yard's been getting. Oh, speaking of that, for the past 3 years, I've mowed like really close to my wood line, right? And I said, fuck it, this year I wasn't gonna do it. And apparently I have like wild raspberries all over my fucking property, dude.
Same. Yeah, cool.
So they are all coming in. I've got them in the front yard. I've got them on this side of the yard. I've got them on that side. Like everywhere.
Nice.
So I think what I'm going to try to do is I got to do some research, and I want to dig up some of the root balls and then try to like plant them within a certain area so I can kind of, corral them and make it so it's not like I've got to walk over here to go to one bush and then one over here to this bush.
Mate, they are fucking prolific.
It's crazy.
And I would say to you as well, I'd encourage you to think about just doing it in a row, and then anytime they come out from the ground, fucking yank it, let it establish more then maybe or something. But yeah, it is wild, man, how much they'll take off. It's really cool. Oh, that's neat.
I'm kicking myself too because I planted 2 blackberries a few years ago, and the blackberries are starting to come up, and I imagine they're probably going to be just like the raspberries, where they're just going to take off. So, but hey, not too bad.
Just in case anyone listening was wondering, if it was Saturday morning and we're a bunch of suburban dads talking about mowing the lawn and shit.
Get your New Balance on and your jean shorts.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's what I do. It's basketball shorts, big headphones.
We need to
White beater.
We've been talking about converting more areas for like wildflower gardens and all the rest of it, and it's just another one of those things of not getting round to it. We even won like $100 grant to go towards like natives.
Oh, no,
and one of our good friends and vendors, that's what they do, and it's just finding the time to coordinate all of us with their events going on to actually go over and pick stuff out. But yeah, I do enjoy. That's one of the things I will listen to podcasts is when I'm mowing the lawns.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It works out well. But but then the frustrating thing is when there's gems getting dropped, like really good knowledge things, like I can't fucking sit or write it down, or you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's the one bad thing of it.
It's lost to the ages.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm just gonna buy a shitload of bricks and just start bricking off parts of the backyard for raised beds, because then I can keep adding on to it.
For sure. Yeah.
And then I can make like little walkways in between them and stuff. Like that'd be cool.
If you're ever looking for mulch, there's a website called Chip Drop. And you put your details in. You don't know when it's going to happen, but local arborists and tree surgeons, the rest of it, they will drop the wood chips, or if you want logs, like for inoculating, they'll drop it on your property if you send a picture as well of where you can get a drop. But like I said, you don't know when it's fucking coming. And we ended up having like multiple drops one week from different folk who I'd given business cards out to. At the same time the chip drop turned up, my wife was like, what the fuck, dude? We have like 3 massive piles of wood chips for free. And that's what we use for our walkways and things like that. You can put mushrooms under it. Like I took a bag of wine cap mushrooms that I had in the fridge for like a year, and they've spread all the way under that big veggie patch. None of them have fruited yet, so they've spread that quickly. Wow. I'm talking like easily 50 plus feet. And there's just wine caps popping up, and if the conditions are right. So like chip drops are really handy tool for that stuff.
I just saved that website, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of yard work to do today. I have to get out there soon.
Yeah, I got to do some yard work today too. I got to cut my dad's lawn.
Heck yeah.
I'm really thinking about doing just chucking wildflower seeds out in the at the new house, because I really don't want to get into this same routine that I've been doing for the last 20 plus years of cutting the grass at my new place. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like,
so here, if
lawns are stupid.
If I had a large area like you're about to have, what I would do is exactly what you're saying, right? Section off an area for like native flowers or whatever, right? And then you could just cut pathways through it, right? Like if you just have your lawnmower and just cut a pathway for you to walk during the summer,
that's a good idea.
What I mean? So it's at least managed. You can look through everything, but you've got a nice walkway that you can go and walk an acre or something like that.
Wildflower maze.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Cut crop circles into it and shit.
Aliens.
Wait till you've been there a year or two before you do it. Nah, fuck that. Plant some fruit trees ASAP.
Yeah. I definitely want to do fruit trees.
I wish we'd done it sooner.
Yeah.
Now, does anyone know where keeping a lawn comes from?
Isn't it from Europe? It was back, like it was like a status symbol.
Yeah.
It had a nice big yard that meant you had a bunch of money.
Look at me, I don't have to grow fruit and I don't have to grow vegetables here. I can just have grass.
Yeah,
until the 1970s, and then it got a bit shaggier for a while. But now we're just back to clean shaven.
Oh Lord.
What were we talking about?
Oh.
That's fucking great. Always.
Oh, that was great.
Favorite part.
I've got a question for each of you.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
And it doesn't have to be a favorite or anything, but what is an album or a playlist that you've been digging recently, or some kind of music that you would encourage folk listening, watching to listen to?
Hot Party playlist on Spotify.
Shit, that was
Get my phone out. Maybe I should have started with that. Everyone who's listening, get your phone out and get ready to add these. So was that Hog Party?
Hog. It's Hot Party. It's the playlist that I've been creating that everybody's been putting their songs on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Hot Party. Yeah, that's what I've been jamming to a lot lately. What about y'all?
So if I open up my Spotify, what I've been listening to as of lately was King Gizzard just came out with a new album, Phantom Island, and I've been checking that out. They have an orchestra that is with them on this. Not quite as much orchestra as I would have hoped, but they definitely have these cool little things that are coming in and out. And of course, next month I'm going to see them with Corey for Focus Seeds. So we're going to see them live, which I'm super fucking stoked about.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I know that they, I've only seen, videos and stuff, but they definitely seem like they are one of those bands that just puts on an amazing show. And they have a following that is like, kind of like how we would go see like Billy Strings, or they're just diehard fans and just really, the whole vibe in the area. So I'm super stoked for that. But yeah, that, and I've been also listening to a little bit of Andy Frasco lately too. Andy Frasco in the Union. So UN. So yeah, changing it up a little bit. I'm still listening to my bluegrass, but I always kind of, flow around, see what else is going on. Yeah, nerd.
All right, so I try to listen to like a new band every day, or a new album that I haven't heard every day. This past week, I kind of been taking a break from that and just going back to two of my favorites. So one is Charlie Tuna, who he's a rapper. He was in Jurassic 5.
Oh, Charlie Tuna.
Familiar with? Yeah. Charlie Tuna. So I really like, he has Fish Out of Water, which is a solo album of his that's amazing. And then he has another album with Crafty Cuts, which I love. I think it's called like The Misadventures of a Reluctant Superhero. It's something like that. But really good stuff. Very lyrical. He's just always on point in the pocket. Always like positive energy. Like you just tell he's like a good dude kind of thing. And then one of my other favorites is Sean Price, who's from New York City. He was in a group back in the day called Helta Skelta. And then he's also in a collective called Boot Camp Click. He actually passed away a handful of years ago. But his style is like very, very lyrical and very funny. And then he says like gangster shit, but it's like tongue in cheek. And he'll have lyrics being like, he'll say something really tough and he'd be like, but I'm lying just like your favorite rapper lies in his songs. Like very funny. And then some of his lyrics are just so funny, and you never know when he's just going to hit you with like a really, really funny line and you're just laughing so hard. But it's very fun to listen to.
What about you, Flamm? What are you listening to?
Flamm.
The next question is going to be about accents. I have been listening to, like I said, my daughter really enjoys listening to reggae, so we've always got a lot like Mike Love and Rotation, Nayatera, some Damian Marley. It's funny, yesterday she would start saying, "Oh, Mommy, wait to hear this new one," and I've been trying not to play it because she remembered the lyrics so quickly because she's singing, "I've got the ganja in my garden." I'm like, oh my god. So it's like I need to be more mindful of that. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Kneecap, Irish rap group, which I've mentioned a few times before. One of them's up by the British prosecution service on terrorism charges for his support of Palestine, essentially. And it's again just seeing the establishment unravel and different people speaking out for it or against it, and then seeing all the money involved. And so that's been quite interesting as a fan and all the rest recently. But again, same thing, like there's some great humour in it, and some of it is in Irish. So I have to like look up like what does it mean, and then even like some of their songs. One of their songs is called Three Cag, and they've got an album named the same, or an EP. Three Cag stands for three consonants in a vowel, which is MDMA. So there's little things like that, you know. There's one song I've called Rhino Ket, and it's talking about them taking such strong ketamine and how it fucks them up. And the whole album is kind of like sounds like an evening out with them down this like dimly lit down shag down pub, as they call it. And it's them talking about robbing a vet's to go get ketamine. That's what the song's about. And as a part, he's like, and I remember I never did harder stuff than mushroom. I did ecstasy once, right? But I'm around plenty of folk that enjoy sniffing ket and things like that, right? And the classic mistake of, oh, I'm getting nothing from this, right? And the guy's, oh, I'm getting nothing from this. And then eventually he takes way too much and the music just explodes, right? It just starts going absolutely wild. And the guy's like, oh, fuck me, that's enough to kill a village. Like this kind of shit. And it just cracks me up because it's like so much of the folk that I've been around my whole life, you know? So I've been really, really thoroughly enjoying that for the music itself, and then also the message, what these guys are doing, using their platform for. And I do it quite a bit of like house music and things like that. So like when I'm gardening and things, like something a bit more upbeat, more dancey. I've got two of my really good friends that I speak to on a daily basis. We've got a WhatsApp group of 7 of us, and we all met out in Utah. Or sorry, almost always met in Utah. But they DJing things, like just like local events, like and to do with like house and at bars and clubs, as well as their normal jobs and whatnot. But you always get like good quality stuff. It's not particularly mainstream. I quite like things with like a soulful voice in it with those kind of beats. And a lad that I taught back in the days, he's Ewan McVicker, sorry, is his name. And he does a lot of that kind of stuff, like Chicago kind of sound. And it's great, especially for getting shit done. It's like, oh my God, this whole bed needs fucking weeded, or I have to dig out grass or some things. It's like, all right, fucking bump the tunes, let's fucking get going. And Spotify does its algorithm. So, yeah, I would say
always make it better.
It does, mate. It's that's what I love about listening to your guys' show is the amount of music that's out there. And I'll generally, sometimes I've stopped the show and like go and put something on just to like make sure it's in my recently played. And there's been a couple of times like, oh no, I'm liking this. And yes, it's good to explore that, right, in this space. And one of the Dr. Dundiff, he's got an album under SJ Jazz that was been very influential as well, and it's all about craft and doing things right. And like my grow behind here, back to doing like autoflowers like the way I like it. It is it's looking. I haven't stuffed the tent, so I can actually work around and pull things off. And so I think about that stuff of like, all right, slow down, don't overpromise, you know. And as you can tell, like music, I can't imagine a life without music, right?
Yeah,
like
I would go nuts.
I'd go nuts. I cannot play it. I cannot sing. I cannot rap. I try. I mumble through all of it. But I just fucking love it. And so that's why I enjoy like hearing you guys with your passions and how many gigs and events you go to and things. It's really fucking dope. I especially live vicariously. My festival days are behind me. Hearing you guys do it, and like your camper stuff, Paranoid, just sounds brilliant. I can't wait to see what you fucking do with it. I can just see you like having it pimped out like so well, mate. It's really exciting. As you lure women back with your, is it trumpet you play, or French horn?
Trumpet. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Lure all the women with my trumpet back to my camper.
as they get undressed, like
just the Pied Piper of pussy. It's like, come on, ladies.
Yeah,
play Star Spangled Banner off key.
And smoke some of this Star Spangled Banner while we're at it.
Well, I enjoyed hanging out today. Y'all got anything else? Any plugs or anything you want to finish out with?
I'm buying my house here in a couple weeks. That's the only plug I got, I guess.
Hell yeah, dude. Very excited for you.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Can't wait to see your little area that you cook up over there and your garden. I don't know if you'll be able to get a veggie garden going, but you may be able to get some stuff out there and start growing some shit.
I'll try something.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Nerd, you got anything?
No.
Always solid, brother. Thank you. Flamm, I appreciate you hanging out with us today, man. You got any final words for us today?
Thanks for having us on. Continue building the community, your community. It's great. We've got it's interesting as well, like jumping in your general chat and seeing people's names I don't recognize from like over in YAG or Albrihe's thing. So like great job on that. Like I said, I'll get my YAG podcast out. I think we're going to call it a wee blether, and which means a small chat. Which knowing me, will fucking not be a small chat. But I'll be at the Berea Fairgrounds on 5th of July for Autopot and Alba Automatics. They're talking about lots of things to do with plants, and I always give folk instructions how to do their own stuff, be it making edibles or salves or whatever, just to use this as medicine as it truly is. And shout out to Paranoid. He talked me through a few things on when I made RSO a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd done that thing of like over reading it and just seeing too many different recipes, and so he was able just to kind of get me a bit more back to it, and so I appreciate that. But it's albaautomatics.com if you need seeds. I've honestly only got 10 packs of Dakar Haze left, which has just been amazing. Like I had a lot of packs available, and like it's been wonderful. Like it's been
good.
And
good
I'm
stuff.
Volunteering off the back of it. So I appreciate everyone doing that because it's allowing me to go do that, right?
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you. It's always good hanging out with you boys, and thank you for hanging out with us, Flamm. And we'll see you soon. I'm very excited for your adventures with your podcast, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for the laughs.
See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.